Oh my gosh, cicadas. Hey y'all, it's Michael, and today I'm here to talk about 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami. This edition is translated from the Japanese by J. Rubin and Philip Gabriel. This does have a play on word with 1984 by George Orwell. In case you're wondering, in Japanese, the word for 9 sounds really similar to English term for the letter Q, so that's why 1Q84 in case you're wondering. This book is about two characters. We have Tango and Aomame. Without giving too much away, basically Tango is involved in this ghostwriting project and it becomes really essential as the story progresses. And Aomame, it starts off with her in a taxi cab and she's running late for work and she gets stuck in traffic and basically she jumps an overpass so she can make her meeting in time. That's basically the gist, so I won't give too much away because I went into this book completely blind. I started this and got to page like 50 or something like that, and then I stopped and then I thought I would actually read the whole thing. This book covers a lot of themes, and so I'm not gonna go into all of them because that would be a really long video. So I'm just gonna talk about some of the things that I noticed overall. I only read two other Murakami's. I listened to the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, and then I physically have and read The Colorless Life of okay. The name is really long. Those two books and this book are the only one that I've ever read by Murakami, and I feel as though as I read more of his works, I'm getting my foot down on understanding him as not only as an author, but why people enjoy his works and why people don't enjoy his works. I think that's even more important. Because when I'm reading Murakami, I'm wanting more of an experience than anything. I have this sense of wonderment and loss and curiosity because half of the time with this book, especially the first two-thirds, I did not know what was going on. I kept questioning what's gonna happen next. Who are these characters? Like, wait, what? Like, that's the expression the whole time. Like, hashtag bitch, what? That's how I kept feeling the whole time, even towards the end, because I didn't know where it was going essentially. His magical realism it's not exactly grounded, it's more like hop, like it's like floating almost. That's how I feel. I feel like as I'm floating through a story and his writing really pushing me and I'm the air that like I'm floating. That's how I feel when I'm reading his works. This is essentially 3 books because he released it over time essentially. There are a few problems with that. First off, this is really long. A lot of the parts I felt could have been cut out, especially in the 3rd book, because since this got released in several installments and this is just the one full bind up, there are a lot of recollection and previously on type of thing when the next book starts, especially in book 3. Oh my gosh, the beginning section where it literally recaps everything from book 1 and 2 was just so long and overdrawn. Read the first 2 books and then just give yourself a few days and then read book 3 because I went straight to book 3 and it felt like a slog. It was really long and almost, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but just too long, man. It was just too long. I think that's what really killed the vibe and mood of it. Regarding his other books, I'm starting to see really similar things, not only in the way that he portrays characters, but a lot of his characters are starting to overlap because like in the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, like a little girl that the main character meets, and here again, Tango meets a little girl. That if you swap those two out from the Wind Up Bird Chronicle and Fokaeri, that's her name here, they would kind of be really similar, like quirky, silent, submissive type of girl. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of his similar works, which isn't a bad thing because it almost feels as though I kind of know what I'm going into with his writing, but then at the same time, I kind of don't know what I'm going into with his writing because it's just so weird. And I would have to say that about this book. This book was really weird, but I really enjoy the weirdness and The parts where I didn't even understand what was going on, I really enjoyed that, surprisingly. I have to talk about the love story because this is essentially a love story. There are parts where it didn't seem, I wouldn't say believable because, I mean, believable is, I don't know, Murakami, yeah. I wouldn't say believable, but it was more of maybe justifiable because the love story and how these start to connect with each other and start to relate, it almost felt pushed and contrived, especially when the revelation comes. I was like, okay. And I do have to talk about women and how he treats them in this because I don't know how I felt about that. One topic that a lot of booktubers talk about when they talk about Murakami is how he treats women characters. And I do have to agree, it's not in the best light. It might be just the way he's trying to say something, but I don't know if I felt numb to it because the Japanese media that I take in, like dramas, movies, anime, there are some animes that treat women like doormats and caricatures and basically placements in that. And with regards to that, there is a sex scene in here. I wouldn't say it was uncomfortable, but it was just like it made me question. It made me question. It made me question. Wait, what? Like it was so bizarre, and that does tie back to how weird the book was. It was so weird the whole time. That sex scene really stuck out in my head. And in a lot of his book, main character, especially the mailman character, not mailman like who delivers letters, but mailman character, they seem very similar. It's always this quiet, lonely, well, not lonely, quiet. He's kind of successful, but for some odd reason he attracts girls. Like, it was really similar actually in all his other books that I read too. They always like jazz. The first page is with music, and then there are some cats, but I felt as though this one didn't have enough cats. I mean, it had some cats, but it didn't have enough cats. And there was no spaghetti. Like, I just wanted more spaghetti and more cats. One of the themes that he covers on here is about connection and how people connect. Not only people, but how things, essentially everything connects. Because this is a part, if you play video games, I had this moment of like Kingdom Hearts. And it was just really weird. And it brought back Kingdom Hearts memories because I was like, what? Because it covers a lot of themes and how things connect, not even in our world, but in other worlds too. So yeah, if you read this book, let me know and what you think about it. I would love to talk about especially more of the themes that this book covers and just Murakami overall. So yes, until then, I'll see you guys till later. Bye!